Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Well, speaking of your phone, you just got the new 5S, right?
I got the 5s.
The 5s.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I got 5s, y'all.
So you got the iPhone 5s.
I did.
Which came out of the box with iOS 7, correct?
It does. iOS 7 pre-installed. I got it in line at the New Haven, Connecticut Apple Store.
Yeah, how was that?
It was actually real fun. It was
good experience.
It was
Okay.
yeah, not bad. It was not a bad line. So all right, let's start it off with what I think is the immediate feature that has kind of changed the way that I use the iPhone, which is Touch ID. In my setting up of the passcode or using the Touch ID, I have had very little failure, and I have no patience for passcodes in general.
I saw you using it earlier today, and it automatically just let you in after you used your fingerprint.
I've had an iPhone since the first one. I've never locked it, ever.
Really?
The Touch ID has made it so I now have a locked phone painlessly. What I like about this technology is that the security came to me. I did not go to the security.
Interesting.
For whatever, I mean, obviously this is going to be a technology that's talked about a lot.
Yes.
We've already seen reports because there's been big money bounties out there to see somebody to crack it. It has, I guess the CCC in Germany had a video hack, and as it would not shock me if that is confirmed. It still, to me, represents something that is demonstrably better than a passcode was or what I had before, which was literally no security.
No security at all.
No security at all.
For me, I look at Touch ID and I think I would much prefer to have some kind of passcode because that's what I've gotten so used to using. And I use security on everything and encryption. So from your standpoint, though, not using encryption as much, you like it.
Well, I mean, I will say this. It's easier. I was riding my bike or a bike from Quincy Market to a friend's house in Somerville, Massachusetts over the last day. I would pull out my phone and unlock it while I was riding the bike, and it was easier for me to just tap the button once and then hold my finger on the Touch ID sensor than it was for me to try and slide to unlock it while I was otherwise busy, and I'm now holding this several $100 phone.
That way you don't fall off your bike.
I don't fall off my bike, and more importantly, I don't drop this.
Cool.
So it is, to me, a huge difference in how I use the phone and now how my life that I keep on here is secured in case somebody took it or wanted to monkey around with it while I wasn't around. That is a huge thing for me, just being better than I was before.
Right.
The other big element of the phone is that it is marginally faster. If you had a 5, you will notice elements where it does pick up speed. I would say specifically in processor-intensive issues like Siri. Siri, to me, has always been something that, to me, there are two kinds of people as they interact with Siri. People that have car commutes and people that don't. People that don't have car commutes, I think, tend to not really find Siri all that useful.
So true.
If you have a car commute, I think you oftentimes find yourself using it, if even just to check text messages as they come in, if not write text messages back. I found Siri to be a lot different with the A7 processor and whatever and now the 64-bit that the iPhone 5S has working for it.
And they increased it to 64-bit, I believe.
64-bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. What about the camera?
The camera is a real, the biggest difference I found is in the lighting. It has 2 flashes on the back, one warm and one dark, and that way you can kind of judge a little bit better exactly, or the phone judges a little bit better what lighting it is.
Oh, that's good.
And how to pick things up. But really, to me, the thing that I've used the most is the slow-mo camera.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do a little test here.
Yay!
We are going to have Padre make just go ahead and do me a favor, shake your face like back and forth. All right, are you ready? Here we go.
I'm
3,
ready for this.
2, 1.
Don't spit at me, okay?
Go.
Oh, that hurt.
Excellent. All right. So now we
Good
go
job,
in
Padre.
Ouch.
to our slow motion video, and we'll see if we can get this right up here for the camera.
We'll focus
This
it a
will
little
not
bit.
end well.
Okay.
All right, we're ready.
Oh my God. Yeah, no,
That actually
that's
looks pretty
not
good.
an attractive look.
It looks like it catches enough FPS that it doesn't look choppy and horrid.
No. So it's 120 frames per second
Okay.
on the camera, and that everything that is done right there, it automatically sets a little bit of real time, and then at the beginning and the end. But you can adjust that to have exactly the moment that you want slowed down afterward. I'll tell you what.
That's so funny.
I really think that there is an element of how fun those videos can be, that as we see the publishability of them, right now you can really only put them on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. But as we see it, Twitter really leaps to mind, the ability to publish these right from the iPhone. They're really fun. You know, you kind of find yourself wanting to find things to record in slow motion. And considering how camera happy iPhone users are in general, this is another tool in that toolbox.
Did you get the one for AT&T?
I have AT&T. I've switched to AT&T for the iPhone. I have not left them
$199?
yet. On a full contract upgrade, it is $199.
Okay.
I'm currently in a situation where I got a partial upgrade, which is something I didn't know existed. It was in the high fives. If you are to flip your old model, if you are going year by year on the iPhone, as I tend to find myself doing, you can sell it on a service like Gazelle and wind up getting it for around what you would pay the $200 upgrade price.
Sounds
so I
like a
would
good deal.
highly recommend you take a look at services, that reselling services, because for the 5, they have continued to hold at over 300, at least as of launch day for the iPhone, which is usually not the case, because that usually nosedives after the announcement.
Now, one last question for you. How do you feel about iOS 7 on the 5S?
iOS 7 is at its best, obviously, on 5S, so I can't speak to where it would be on a 4S or a 5.
Well, I've played with it on my my iPhone 5, excuse me, and I've noticed that it's very speedy. The processing is really quick with it. My iPad, though, I also upgraded that one, and my iPad, which is a 3rd generation, it's the first Retina that came out.
Yeah.
That one is very slow.
Okay.
It's really bad on the 3rd generation iPad, so I wasn't too happy with that.
I have not upgraded to my iPad yet. I'll be curious to see where it is then. In terms of the iPhone 5S, it's really fast. Cool. And if you like the iOS 7, which I happen to like, then you will enjoy everything that kind of comes with it running as fast as it does.
Have you played with Android phones at all? I heard a few people say that it's similar to Android now.
You know, I think specifically in terms of some of the slide down menus, like Notification Center when it first came onto iOS, was something that people linked to other similar Android stuff. And the Control Center here, which you slide up from the bottom,
that's pretty similar.
certainly has, at least in the one touch, turn this on, turn this off sort of stuff. That is something that is an element that when I had a phone stolen, I had to wind up using Android a little bit. That is something that was there. For me, and it's not surprising, Apple is very rarely the one who do things first. They're the ones to try to do things the best. I mean, that is their aim. One might say, and I would say that I've had a better time getting to know this iOS than I did the Android iOS, specifically even with these menu options. But I think that's a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
I'm an iOS guy. I gave Android a run, but it was on inferior hardware, so I don't want to make any sweeping generalizations about it. But it's something that out of the box, iOS is the best operating system it can be, whereas on Android, you can have any number of options with it. It's just a matter of getting your own, launcher and getting all these other elements that sort of make it the customized experience that you've come to enjoy. But then again, talking about iOS and Android is like, talking about religion or something.
Completely different
right?
species.
What? Wait, religion? Huh? Wait.
Well, I know that you're totally jet lagged. I know you just got back to California. So let me go ahead and get you to your pros and cons.
Yes.
And your verdict.
Okay. The pros and cons. The Touch ID is a game changer for me. I did not secure my phone. I now secure my phone. The speed, specifically in terms of Siri and specifically in terms of maps, is something that I really found to be, something where when it comes down to it, you need that speed at crucial moments. You need that speed while you are in the car. You need that speed when you need that direction, whether or not you're going to go left or right. This is something that I've found to be a big difference. Camera is awesome. iOS 7 is something that I've really enjoyed. The cons. I don't know if I would say to iOS 5 owners, it's an absolute must upgrade. It was something that I was very happy to go from a 5 owner to a 5S owner. I enjoyed a lot of the upgrade stuff, but is it something that I need, that I would, run up to somebody and grab them by the collar and scream that they needed to upgrade because they're missing out on stuff? No. However, here is where the great ceiling is with that 64-bit processor. There's a ceiling on this phone that we have not yet hit. And as the iOS developer community gets into what its capacities are, I think we could see some really, really, really awesome stuff on this phone specifically that you won't be able to run with the kind of speed on a 5 or a 4S.
Yeah, that's true.
So there we go.
What is your verdict?
Buy, don't buy, try, think about, daydream.
Maybe,
possibly, sort of, kind of. For me, it's a buy.
Buy, okay.
If you are going to, if you are an iOS fan, you enjoy having the latest Apple hardware, you will be pleased with what you get. And I do think that Touch ID is a real game changer.
Well, I'll be honest, I am not interested in using Touch ID myself.
Sure.
Just because I can't wait to see what all my security professional friends do to hack it and figure out how to get around it, which I know has already sort of happened.
Sure.
But
let me ask you this.
Otherwise.
Is the passcode a safer way to do things?
You can change a passcode.
Yes.
You can't change your fingerprint.
You can take off fingerprints. No. So
you can remove your fingerprint.
It has up to 5 of the fingerprints that you can have on there.
Oh, okay.
And so you can delete the profiles. So you can say only my thumb works with it, or only my finger, only like my forefinger works with it, and then you can delete those at your whim.
Okay.
So it is not just
so
like you only
5.
have 5 profiles that you can have. And that means that you could have somebody else's on there. So that is an element of a security flaw where if somebody got into your phone, they could add their fingerprint, which gets into it. However,
come back and
you only you can do whatever you want, man. You can can only use Touch ID so many times.
Right.
And then at the after that, it forces you to enter into your passcode.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad that it still uses, it's not really 2-factor authentication, but it still asks you for a separate passcode in case the first one doesn't work.
Absolutely.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Justin.
Excellent.
Really appreciate you coming in. I know you're so tired. So
No, me?
I won't keep you in front of the camera longer than I need to.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
You can go back to sleep now.